Okay, Mina's here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Take a seat and settle in.
Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, Chota. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the podcast. Today, I am joined by 4 special guests. Why don't you all say hi to the listeners?
Hi.
First off, thank you all for coming on to the podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I am so excited for this episode. Very quickly, let's go around and have you introduce your names.
I guess I can go first.
Thanks for volunteering.
I had to, otherwise we were going to sit here all day. Anyways, my name is Zo, and in Hmong you pronounce that as Zua.
My name is Ku, or I guess in Hmong, Ku.
Hey guys, I'm John.
And hi, my name is Mina.
So all 4 of you have seen or had some sort of experience with the paranormal.
Yes.
Yep.
As a scary story podcast host, I hear so many scary stories from so many people. Sometimes I think to myself and I'm like, I think I've heard it all. But there's always a guest that comes along eventually and proves me wrong. It's something about the energy today. I feel like someone, like one of you guys or all of you guys, are going to tell a story that is going to be really scary and resonate with me for a long time.
I'm excited.
I guess to break up the ice a little bit, I could start and share something that happened to me the other day.
Oh.
So you're saying this was recent?
Yeah, it was last Tuesday.
Oh, dang.
So, I do live near Phelan Lake,
Oh boy.
Oh, of course.
and as we know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. On that day, I had to go get something from Cook Foods, and for whatever reason, noon it was really foggy. I don't know if we have any gamers here. Oh, you, John?
Here?
And Mina? Well, never thought I came silent here.
Yeah, I know it.
I haven't played it, but I do know the game.
You know how it's foggy in the game?
Uh-huh.
It was exactly like that. Bộ hôm bộ này chúng mình tốt tốt kết hết. That's one try to roll. What the heck? Is it raining? Masha.
Wait, so the water just came out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was so weird. It was like a splash on my windshield. Like, I would get it if it rained the night before, right? Like, you could argue, or something,
Yeah.
but the day before, it never rained. Like rainy expected. Boom on my windshield.
Do you think it was because you made that comment?
Funny enough, that's exactly what my mom said. But you know what, my dumbass, I didn't really even register it until I got home and I told my mom about it. She was like, nay.
I'm actually not familiar with it. What's up with the lake?
That's right, Mina, I forgot that you just moved here. Apparently, Salem Lake, more, something living in there.
Think about Hmong superstitions, water, something that slithers in there.
Oh, got it. No wonder you guys were speaking in code like it was taboo.
Yeah, so kumam right there. It probably didn't appreciate being talked about. That's why I got hit with the water as a warning. But yeah, that was my experience. Not scary, but really weird.
You know, the weird thing about that place, it's known to have dragons, right? I'm just gonna say it. However, people see so many other different things. It's almost like a breeding ground for a lot of weird stuff.
You bring up a good point, John. Then they could change your color. That she got highly got what I could recall. Kuku mo yung experience big feeling lake here. Tao xiong wa pa gao.
Hey, photo ready?
Yeah!
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! Roll!
Bây giờ nên cô này tại là thia cho uncle, lo cho của cousin. 俾每日繼續地水能為上的。And then你both the big young family not the after the Easter egg hunt, it doesn't end there. You should barbecue, 只係no hang out the whole day.
Ah, so nostalgic.
Our parents, they would do their own thing, and then us kids, we would also do our own things. We chỉ là cái làm cho các tàu thì play volleyball. Họ giống như有咩咩嘅啦，冇西北 playground. When I was 15 years old, my brother Zhong was 18. He just started driving. And then hang out with cousin Tim, who is 16 years old. The three of us hung out at the stage area. If you know, you know. A lot of the Minnesota B-boys and B-girls, they often came to this so-called stage area to hang out. And most importantly, to show off their dancing skills. without the big into the breakdancing scene, so I was one of the dancers there flexing my skills.
Show them what you got, cook.
Nice, that was a good transition. One more combo. Now throw the air flare.
I was having so much fun because everybody was just cheering me on. Yeah, it was a nice feeling.
Cross step. Ow.
Hurry up, quit playing around. Put the watermelon in the cooler.
Bây tự nhiên nhau有整多嘢của dad who had their baby mum pack up a yom che.
Cứ thế rồi mình nhà một từ nè.
I don't know.
Cha có mầm lộc bự, nước tay lộc bự, thêm có mầm lộc bự thế. Bây tụi nó em muốn chi nè.
Uncle, chờ một thuốc kia mà đốt lấy clip bộ.
Bây xong đó. Mình nhớ nằm thấy chúng nó nè, bây tụi nó cần nên một chỗ là lo sợ. Từ trong tụi nè.
Okay. Daddy, I've been here to bảo lên.
Để thu kiến thế, lưu ý để chỉ bảo cái này nên muốn này chơi xí mà. Có tụi chả có đồ chơi tụi này.
Really, Ma?
Not really even having a plan. The three of us set out to go find my mom, my aunt, and my grandma. We just got on the pathway and started walking. As you may already know, a whole lap around the lake is about 3 miles. We walked for what must have been a mile. And then my brother said,
Okay, Tim and cool. I don't think we need to do the whole 3-mile walk.
Why?
Unless we run, we're not gonna catch up.
So we turn back then?
Yeah. Let's just go to my car.
I'm cool with that. Who knows, my mom and your mom, they're probably back already anyways.
Even if they're not, they're full adults. They can figure out how to get home by themselves.
Thảo biết turn back the day ní chọn đồ chờ. We should have just went straight to the car. Tashima của the brother to had there. Hey, before we leave,
let's check out the dock.
Why? I thought we were going to your car.
We'll check just in case Mom and Daddy went there. It's on the way back anyways.
Okay, yeah, we can check.
Why wouldn't Mom and Daddy take the dirt path that goes through the forest?
Cool, will you just hurry up? You be asking too many dang questions.
it was a possibility that the three of them could have entered into the woods to take the small trail back. Zhang took the lead as Tim and I walked behind him.
We should hurry up before it gets too dark.
Walk faster then.
Turn around, we're going back.
Are you serious? We came all this way.
Shh. Joseph, look like I'm lying. Go back.
Tim was better at figuring my brother out than I was.
Jump, goodbye to your head, oh.
Yeah. It's gonna scare you guys. Don't look, just go.
Timmy to ye to name of the tao jom halen do ye Timmy tif lo to ha by back law. Haku ye ku ye to ning tiru jo. I peeked over my brother to see what was ahead. There were a bunch of white strings scattered on the ground. They all led to the same spot. A low branch that was hanging over the narrow path. Something was jingling from it. It was a doll dressed in Hmong clothes. There were some food scraps on the ground. I picked up a hard piece of corn kernel. I looked at it, and I chucked it in the direction of the doll.
Cool, you dumbass. Why would you do that?
What the? Bro, you're not supposed to do that.
I know.
They almost like that page on but you
You know what, Ko?
What?
If I was your brother in that situation, I would 1000% smack your ass.
You don't mess with that stuff.
Why did you do that, Ku?
I was just being dumb.
Oh, yo, come on.
I thought I was being funny, but apparently not.
That's okay, we all make mistakes. Especially when you start to become more edgy, you do stuff without really thinking.
See, you get it.
Yeah, I can understand.
So then what happened after that?
Oh yeah, back to the story. So I threw the corn at the doll. I missed obviously, but I think it hit a tree or something. Zhong was furious with me. He lectured me the whole way back to the car, which was valid.
Oh, so that's all you saw? Nothing scary happened?
No, nothing happened. We just came home after that.
You guys are lucky nothing followed you then.
Well, that's what we thought. Until a couple of weeks had gone by.
John, do we have teething gel?
What are you, a baby? Why do you need teething gel?
My teeth frickin' hurt. Google said to apply teething gel on it.
Come out here and look for it yourself. Mom may have some in the cabinet.
I woke up that morning with the most painful toothache.
Ow, this hurts. If we don't have any, can you go buy me some?
No. I'm gonna ask Mom later when she comes home.
Oh, seriously, bro? Why? It's not that hard. Just drive to the store.
We're just going here and look in the counter first.
I'll look, but if there's not any, you're driving me to the store.
I'm busy today. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. If it hurts that much, should we just walk to the store?
Quit being a jackass. Jean, what's wrong with your face? Jean, what's wrong with your face?
My brother's face was completely paralyzed on the right side. He didn't even realize that water was streaming out from the corner of his mouth. For me, that toothache never resolved. My mom took us to a shaman, where it was confirmed whatever's inside that doll was the cause. The shaman said had it latched onto us, it would have been a bigger problem. But instead, it only took half of Zhong's spirit, explaining the half paralysis. I wondered why my brother had it worse than I did when I was the one that threw the corn. This brings us back to John's point. Like a breeding ground, this place has so many things. Turns out the doll had no interest in me. It was another spirit lurking around. It hated my mischievous act of throwing the corn, so it punished me. Like corn kernels being pried loose from a cob. It was pulled out. Thankfully, a simple visit to the dentist solved my issue. Zhong had to live with the paralysis for a bit. We did several shaman rituals to negotiate and call his spirit back. It took a bit of time, but eventually, he regained sensation in his face and made a full recovery. We still go there to hang out from time to time, but never again anywhere near that wood area.
Wow.
Dang.
I'm glad that there was a good outcome. Not to say that the two of you got out of this situation unscathed, but things could have ended up very differently, especially for your brother. Something like paralysis, that can be very life-changing.
100%. Now, Mila.
Me? Yeah?
個月段落話目標就明日所來個出到白白粉的力多呢 I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, noted. Is there any other places that I should know about?
Oh, there's a lot. There's Lilydale, the Oakland Cemetery.
Hmong village.
Yep, because there's always too many people.
Stop, you can't say that. I love that place.
Just kidding, it's a great place. But yeah, there's also Mount Park, and any of the funeral homes, honestly. These are just to name a few. There's actually so many.
Oh, have y'all heard about that one funeral home?
Lutana.
Lúc ý sư mà Chị cũng mặc này á Mong đợi chị cũng sẽ thổi tặng mà lò của đệ tỷ gì hình I got up quietly to avoid waking up my husband, and then go down the home một chỗ sân đồ. Một chỗ bị hông na. Thầu của cho chị ta của tôi tăng hồng hông na thì của tôi lọt trong đồ hallway no. I was just going to go right back into our bedroom, but right before I entered, I sensed movement down the hall. I turned quickly to look in that direction. I could see, gently rocking in the darkness, was something red and green. It was too dark for me to be sure, but it looked like someone was standing there. When I turned on the hallway light, the closet at the end of the hallway was open. The stack of towels in there was in disarray, creating the illusion that something was standing there in the dark. When it told my seeing, so I assumed that they should know what towel he left it in that state. I went down the hallway and put the towels back nicely. And then I shut the door.
Auntie!
Oh my gosh, Jake! You scared me. Why are you up?
Kenny wet the bed. I was trying to find something to clean it.
So you took out the towels?
Mm-hmm.
Silly boy. Let's go get Sean and Kenny. You guys can just sleep in the other room.
But what about the bed sheets?
It's okay, Jake. Uncle and I will take care of it tomorrow.
Kenny's crying again.
Okay, let's go get him. My husband has two older brothers. Dong is the middle brother, and then Sa is the oldest. And of the three brothers, my husband is the youngest. It all started when my husband's brother Dong, his wife, and the three boys came up from Arkansas. While Dong and his wife were in town attending these family events, Gochonga bade the boy to Uncle Sajo. Sa wasn't married yet, so he was known as the fun uncle. He also had a dog, which made the nephews even more excited to stay with him. Sa was supposed to babysit for the whole week, but at midweek, my husband got a phone call from him requesting that we watch the kids for the remainder of the week. On their first night with us, Kenny, the youngest, 4 years old, he wet the bed. That's why when I woke up to use the bathroom that night, I saw his oldest brother, Jake, 10 years old, looking for a towel to clean up. Oh, Chiro, it's okay, Auntie's here. See, brother Jake's here too.
Auntie, I think he wants to sleep with the light on.
No, he doesn't need the light on. We just disrupted his sleep. 누구랑 뒀어?
But he cried like this at Uncle Sa's too. Uncle Sa leaves the light on for us.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. It was a good thing that I listened to Jake. Kenny stopped crying after we left the light on. I finally got back to bed and went to sleep. The next day, my husband got another phone call.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, what's up? Konnichiwa, Sa.
Uncle Sa? Can you come over? We miss you and we want to play with you.
Shh. In a bit, let me talk to Uncle Sa first. Sa, you still there? Is everything alright?
I think I need to come spend the night with you guys.
Did something happen?
其中海的是那 I'll tell you later.
Wolima, Mononenzo is making flow, so when you're ready, just come over. There'll be food.
It was very unusual of Sa. We had never seen him that scared before. When he arrived, his face was so pale.
This food is really good. Thanks for cooking.
Glad you like it. 같이 넣어. 지금 조난다고 하나도 안 하려나?
So, Sa, what happened? Why did you say that over the phone earlier?
Oh, yeah. Dude, go on. Something's been going on at my house.
Okay. Like what?
Ever since a few days ago, I started hearing noises and random knocks around the house.
Max. Like dating color.
Yeah. Surely someone called up on our door.
Are you sure? Chayuk and the kids know me. They were sleeping over with you.
No, it's not them. I made sure it wasn't them. The other night they were all asleep when I heard it in the hallway. Strangely, the Hmong can eat Philippine shell gone. That's why I had them come sleep over at your place.
That's it? Mikosu. Kulezan Thank you, brothers. Kwa always to take your chapter.
That wasn't all of it. One day Kuhugo earlier, I was on the phone FaceTiming with my girlfriend. tôi在台阶估计有一车上 on the couch. Babe, 我花钱。可花钱了。Babe? Babe? Chỉ nói tiếc tế lì. Cô muốn kia của phone bill sure. Our FaceTime was still going on, but she wasn't there. I wasn't sure, right? She cũng nói tên là nó đã. Tới she cũng phiếu tao hay tao cũng chỉ tao luôn đó. So I got up and started turning on all the lights in the house. I got to the hallway, right? 我知道的顶所有hallway之照，cũng知道的hallway家，莫一年那跟着梦，那首都有北京地理。
Babe, where did you go?
My phone was in my pocket, but when I was trying to feel for it, 容易我带这么差了了，cũng知道了我弄那地 for a split second 是。Cho hắn chưa up nên sợ bị hallway tức bao lờ.
Hello, can you hear me? Có chưa thả phong kê của hang up lo.
Hey babe, I'm still here.
Come on, China.
I'm just turning on the lights around the house.
Oh. 我家他不打个梦，我没个跑巴德莫一个别过呢。
Huh? Me? I didn't cry.
Whatever. I know it was you.
Wait, actually though? Could not somebody pull it down?
Yeah?
I think I heard it too. That's what woke me up. Honestly, I thought it was you.
No, 没有过。
Oh, what is that?
Why would I cry?
Babe, I think I gotta call you back later. Don't hop it so somehow could shop up go everywhere.
Have you been staying out late?
No.
Có bỏ chưa chân da.
Yo có bỏ chứ chính hình mà no. Because lúc tính the hallway tới chỉ ta nè.
Uncle.
Có sĩ cũng bỏ khá dầu cho bảo hạt tiền lên tới sân đầu.
Uncle Sa, listen to me.
Jake, your uncles are talking. You put Uncle Sa will join you guys.
But I have something to tell Uncle Sa.
What is it, kiddo?
Tomorrow when you take us to the store, can we buy some slime?
Yeah, you can get whatever you want.
Yay, I'm gonna go tell Sean and Kenny.
Spoiled brats. But yeah, like we biết name, the crying, the nods, what I saw in the hallway. Surely there, I don't know what's up.
Có chỉ đọc hay nhớ thức gì có?
Uncle.
No, gusto.
Uncle, are you talking about the lady that stands in the hall?
What do you mean, Jake?
She kept bothering Kenny when we were sleeping over at your place. That's why he kept crying. She goes away when we turn on the light, but then she keeps crying from the dark.
Hey, kia có chưa đàn luôn.
I'm not lying. She was here too. Auntie and I saw her this morning.
Ah, Jade, don't say that.
ก็ชอบเคยเจอตัวมันอย่างฉันน่ะนี่ว่ามันอย่ายอมนะว่าให้ซะหน่อย
I'm serious. She was wearing those clothes.
What did it look like, Jake?
It was like long strings.
Long strings.
It goes around her tummy and then go down like this. It was red and green.
묵직하게 사시나.
Jake's really not lying.
Jake, do you know who she is then?
Mm-mm.
Did you see her for the first time at Uncle Sa's house?
No, we saw her at the big building by Uncle Sa's house.
Big building din sa.
Sure. Oh, yo, why would you guys go there?
We were bored, so we took the dog to go walk.
That's a funeral home. That's where they take the dead people to.
Uncle Sa didn't know that.
Sa, hôm nay tôi xin có hả?
Yeah, so we called my mother and father-in-law. Mondake Galokido to every one of us. The next day they went to Uncle Sa's house and did a full cleansing over there too. I referred to my sister-in-law as Nilao. But anyways, when my Nilao found out, Numa moja boiste kitete. Thầu chúa bên nuôi rồi yo taka mo chen da kutu Nilao umu be unison monomo. She was curious about the funeral home, so we drove by. As we looked the roundabout, I was like, Nilao bu che che yo no ma. De ka che che no ma no mo chokeo. Lo hai tia tin ma con ko ba pon song pe no dong. Ta shi lo to mo ko lo te chi pu tin to an teng hon si yo. But yeah, that was my experience with that place. It's been demolished since.
Oh, 如果不要路诶，我不想得来人做好肥啦，
Oh, look ma.
可以别做听啦。
Yeah. I see it more often than not. A lot of the time, the things kids say get overlooked. Doshima, you gotta listen to them sometimes. Komagui, did you doubt kids, Leo? They know what's up.
They really do.
Okay, well, thank you, Zhora, for sharing with us. Chua, Mina, Per, John, Nena,
Did you want to go?
Dotamura,
Mine's pretty short. I can go. So one thing most people don't know about me is that I see spirits. One of my earliest recollection, it was when my mom and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. There was one morning where I woke up early to lost my movie shy. The TVs, they were the big box TVs, so like the screen was very glossy. Like it's like matte, so it doesn't reflect. It was very reflective. I dug up my favorite movie, which was the Pokemon Mewtwo. With the VHS tape, I was ready to go insert it into the TV. But when I looked up at the TV, in the reflection, I saw a boy standing behind me. I looked back quickly, but there was no one. Behind Gula. Although I only briefly saw him, I remember so well what he looked like. Because 1 year after that incident, the movie The Grudge came out. When I saw the ghost boy in the movie, it sent me right back into that memory. The Grudge. The black circles around the eyes and everything. Throughout my childhood, I would continue to see stuff like that. And I was very scared at first. Then I got kind of used to it. Not everything I saw was a big threat. That one time. This was a few years after. I was about 6 or 7 years old by this time. So that summer I went to stay with them for a bit. She was selling clothes for her little Hmong dolls. She had like 10 of them and each one had a different outfit on. And then get dolls and the and they come to chat in no come to kaki. Komunda Ganyata Bainoke Gopopa had their dolls because I kept playing with it. So she gave me one to bring home. kun ka lot such a green to play to no tell. I was the only child, so I would play alone. To play the Toma, Kilijongwe, Mornington Tokunya Holo homework. This one time I was playing with it along with my other Barbie dolls. I laid her down on my bed so that her eyes would close. Coaching Utsu ta makeup don't go playing to make your eyelashes, rubbing it between my fingers. Don't you could hear something that sounds like a mad granny. It came directly from the door. I remember just standing there and staring at it, as if it wasn't already terrifying enough. It opened its eyes, all the while it was still laying down. Remember, during that time, I was feeling and seeing a lot of spirits. This year, Poco Filto had done it different. It's because all the spirits that I saw up to that point, they didn't intend to show themselves. I could sense that it was aware. From then on, I stopped playing with it. Next to my bed was a shelf, so when I stopped playing with it, my mom placed her up there. So now I'm going to green ginger to dawn. We know the como school to go with such a. I looked up, and the doll was gone. In case you bought the doll when you got the kiri, so they mo ke ko kiri kalasu. Fast forward, a few months went by, and go the condition da. One day, the doll magically appeared on the shelf again. Dashi go the chitolu got the doll. Conveniently, that by your summer break, so go jaganga to doll the motokupa. Go had to go put there go chiyolo, and she took it back. The next time mo visit go palo doje, no to get down the pocheta. Tono go chin make like that kaiko had that what happened. It was only a few years ago that I learned from my aunt.
Mi nào con theo ai ya dưỡng đôi thằng đó có trò kháng hả tôi đâu bố bên à bố mới cho mình chỉ bố trò chè bố mới cho ý lên trò hậu bố không sợ phân giận mày nó bố chỉ có một hậu một cả bố rất dễ rồi bố có một số hậu chè của chồng một chớ bố lúc này bố tao sẽ đã chiến họ từ chứ chớ chè của cha nó sẽ xin chỉ tí cho bé cá to họ tên số mà chẳng luôn hi nó thế lại của tiên quân chuyện lăng nhà ai ya yun đó dùng lý lòng chiến trong tổ cho của thiên đạo lấy cũng lúc tôi hay theo của chỉ cho tôi lui theo của kia là muốn bảo lúc này tôi vấn đề chơi của kia để chuyện theo bớt ra dễ rồi của nó khó lo cái câu chuyện ở tầng đó lúc họ trông xưa cha của bảo con này ai ya yun chạy để với rồi đi à bằng một giờ rồi thì mà bố muốn lo sửa tí chọn chỉnh sửa để thằng cụ bọn thằng có tụ ai vậy chạy để những uống rồi trả rung lên nổi tiếng cụ chơi thêm một cái bố thán chân cụ theo để cụ hai đứa bố hai tiền có chỉnh có gì muốn sai sai mà bố nhà một số bị lúc họ trông xong một chỗ hậu để tí phiền chỉ xíu bố tao thà tiếng lòng đã bố để bố bọn tí thiên nó
Mondake, my aunt, both here you lo more at dolls in the show portrait and talk.
Oh, your dolls na ma to some chai. Tôi lần đấy nó cũng chỉ tao bỏ lên tới một trò sinh đầu liệu.
Xin đâu tôi cái tin mình có bao giờ mà lấy chỉ cho câu theo lấy một cái chuyện đó.
Yeah, cô này theo cô sister lấy cái lấy một cái bộ chuyện tập thú ý because thằng đó cái tin mình hay tia cho đó nó mà nhỏ mà nó chỉ hay cái chia.
Okay, last but not least, we have John.
Yeah?
Cái cái anh to play show. John, the cô yêu tao cái cô hay chỉ tao cái liệu. Cái chỉ bảo cái cousin là cái tao sẽ cần tới lần nữa chỉ hay lấy cái là yêu linh đó thôi.
Oh my god. Same stuff over and over again.
我家个全部个只係嚟。
我連等於我到㗎啦，就要我拉你我拉先。我先有個就可以個住包落這裡啦，個住乜整啦？
咯，就係個絕對嚟啦。
Cause ne chụp bỏ kiểu tan linh rồi. They want to start thing there. Shit.
個住錯是寫發發個啦。
I never even said the F word.
佢要個個要補咩？佢要個年啊？
我見到老公路個特技色，
Kasi hindi siya mag-hesa pa may tukala o kanya ite ko na. Kumaan siya kami chit sa prela. Yu tong alin sa lo mo tang chawli. Ni chimo ke chele an chele mo de.
佢唔一着老色，
Andrew 我自己听，哥哥对 Andrew 听。
Hey, don't bring me into your problems. That's between you and Mom.
Andrew 你做到，咁乜做得？
More shit some more. Gee.
我都係就但你最少冇見過佢揸啲。你阿對咩佢啲那呀？得到叫佢係知道你，只通落對面落嚟。
你話呢隻通你兩日得個字添啊
Dude, why would you say that to Val?
係頭都冇學過幫我講咁追點啊 Get your only cousin, get your only cousin. You all ain't like their parents either.
Well, John, go ahead, go to brother Nathan, don't call you.
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were just standing up for ourselves. Don't get me wrong, I do speak back a lot, but always with reason. Cause I both told mom you know what I was doing?
What?
I was in an after-school robotics club. That was it.
Oh, good parents, your joy, she understand how there you more happy, parent, need a social life, people,
Your parents sound just like my parents.
Exactly. You come with Lolita Sima, we would get a whole airful. Make it every day. It felt so suffocating. Good brother, eating gym in your life, but there are nights where you just want to hang out and stay out later with your friends. That's why my brother and I, we got creative. We created a genius system. How it worked was that you hang out.
Oh, you love Michael too. I don't want to show.
Okay, I know it's not special. Does she took us sneak out? What did you do about the window, Ma? Did you just leave it unlocked?
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to, right? That's the whole point. So you could get back in later.
Ah, see? Does she me to consider that? So you leave my house from we made sure the windows were locked. So this was our system. So took mo out to go to brother Nyache. So took Nyache to go to brother mo out.
John, dude, that's kind of lame.
That way, one of us was always home to lock the window and open it when the other comes back.
We get it. Make him call. Best to each other.
Thank you, I know. Mọi mà chị cũng một ơn được gặp phong you.
Alright, man. See you next time.
Alright, see ya. It was 4 in the morning when my son dropped me back off at home. Usually when I'm almost home, I would text Andrew and he would have the window open by the time I get there. However, I didn't text him this time since it was 4 in the morning and he probably wasn't even awake. I was just going to go and knock at the window. Between me and Andrew, we have a special knock, just so we can know that it was each other. It's really stupid, but our special knock was the rhythm of that popular Cook song. It goes... Our bedroom was at the back of the house, so I hopped over our fence and landed quietly in the backyard. Across the yard, I could see Andrew already standing outside of our window, waiting for me. I knew he was itching to go visit his girlfriend. He had probably been waiting for me to get back, so it could be his turn to sneak off. About halfway across the yard, I called out in a hushed voice. Andrew, you can go ahead and leave. Dashi nichotong the chinokuli. Ha, kunya alupanjema work overtime, naluja jonghin. I wasn't trying to wake her up. I'll tell you mama took it towards the window, sir. What's he doing that for? That fool started tapping on the window, so I called out to him again. Hey, stop that. Mom's gonna wake up. The closer I got, the more details emerged from the darkness. While the movement of Andrew's head I thought to myself, when did Andrew get this tall? Through the window I could see that the latch was still locked. It was not Andrew. I cautiously backed away. The moment I felt like I had enough distance between us, I took off and sprinted to the front of the house. Oh man, if I go through the front door, that means I'm gonna might get my mom. Cái này chứ khế nữa.
Got your matcha dinner, Chimon.
I almost regretted running from the ghost. You kuya tito to go saying got through the window so je ku tikshi mate. I finally made it back into our room. Andrew was in fact asleep on his bed. I crawled into bed and fell asleep too. Later, when I woke up in the afternoon, I asked Andrew, "Hey, did anything happen while I was gone yesterday?"
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just wondering because yesterday Kunka looked the whole backyard.
Shit, don't tell me you saw something.
Shh. Lower your voice.
Okay, what'd you see?
There was someone standing by the window.
Yesterday, I was in bed using my phone. I thought I heard you knock at the window. So I cracked the window open and I said, "John, is that you?" But there was no answer. I realized I didn't even get any text from you. I dragged my ass back to bed. A few moments later, I heard the knocking again. The knocking kept coming in a sequence of 3. She was creepy as hell. I almost got up to go get mine. This morning, go pretend.
Nothing. We didn't say anything. Andrew and I stopped sneaking out the window, but a few nights every week, we would hear.
Absolutely not. Did your mom say anything about it?
So, I don't think she actually knows about it. During our conversation, I think she only heard the part that we snuck out the window. It's whatever.
John, so did the knocking ever stop? Lo, is it still happening?
It only went on for a few weeks and then it stopped. So it's all good now. We're back to sneaking out the window when we need. Thankfully, we don't hear the knocks anymore.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good sign to me.
Mina, what do you mean?
I didn't want to interrupt John's story.
You didn't want to interrupt it with what?
The fact that someone's been standing behind him for the last 10 minutes.
Mina, this is why I like quiet people like you. People like you end up being the funniest.
Ah, I see what you did there. Good one.
All right, as we wrap up this episode, I want
No,
to thank...
I was not trying to be funny. It's been sitting in that corner since I arrived in this studio. I knew it came with one of you guys. I just didn't know who. Until John started telling his story. That's when he stood up.
Mina, you're a natural storyteller. But, Bichuo, you should drop it. I could see it's making John a bit uncomfortable.
It's looking at me. It doesn't like being talked about.
You're joking, right?
Okay, can we stop this?
Mina, look, I appreciate you trying to...
You guys see this, right?
What?
Oh my gosh.
What is it?
Dude.
Hey, is someone messing with him?
What are you guys talking about?
Your shirt.
What about my shirt?
John, don't move.
Why?
Something's pulling on it. Whoa.
Huh? Who touched me?
I told you not to move.
I'm scared. What's going on?
Hey, everybody, please stay calm.
Who touched me?
John, it wasn't any of us.
Please cut the mic, I need to leave.
Please calm down.
Cut the mic, I want to leave.
Okay.
It was good meeting you guys, but I'm leaving.
Before you leave, John,
Mina.
your special knock wasn't so special.
What does that mean?
It was watching you for months. You said you no longer hear the knocks. You only knock when you need someone to let you in. Once you're inside, you don't need a knock anymore. You're the one that let it inside.
What does he want?
Hey, I forgot my backpack on my bed. Give it to me.
What time are you gonna come home?
Maybe around 1 a.m.? But I don't know. I'll just text you when I come home.
If it gets too late, just sleep at your friend's.
Dude, stop worrying about it. We don't even hear the knocks anymore.
Okay, whatever. Get out of here.
Make sure you check your phone.
Yeah, go away. Where is my phone? What did he forget this time? What? Angel? Is that you? Angel!